Let me first of all thanks the professor here, Eva Joly, and all the other members of the commissions for accepting this invitation that we launched a few months ago as a civil society organization and trade unions to call experts, independent experts, to think about how we can solve the problem that is at the basis of the biggest injustice that we're living in the world right now. They accepted, and I have to tell, they volunteered serving this commission. That is something very precious. Thanks for that. And thanks for the outcomes. Thanks for the outcomes because they are straight to the point, clear, as Professor Ocampo said, nobody can misunderstand. Few things, but very clear to do. Somebody can say that they are a bit ideological, maybe, I don't know. I don't think so, because we are confronted with the ideology of profit and with the ideology of making profit everywhere is possible to the expense of ordinary people, of workers, of people that grow. Why a global union like PSI felt to be completely involved in this campaign and in the Global Tax Justice Alliance? Well, we felt we need to do that because we were seeing the impact of austerity and of the measures that government imposed after the crisis in 2008. Austerity, cuts in public spending, loss of jobs, created a growth in inequality that has no comparison in the past. Inequality between countries, inequality within countries, and inequality, I would add, between genders, where women are much more affected than men. And there's no light at the end of this tunnel, because if we look at the European situation, it seems that there's no adequate reaction to this crisis. And the recipe is always the same. Labor reforms that even the Monetary Fund now recognizes that has an impact of 0.3 on growth and recovery, so why do we have to continue on that path? Cut in public services that are not contributing to reduce poverty. On the other hand, they are increasing poverty. And as Jayati just said, all the debate in the global context, in the UN context, on the SDGs, on the FFD, on climate, COP21, climate change, is focused to look how private capital can boost the growth and economy, how private capital can contribute to development. Well, what we have seen so far is that they contributed very, very few to this. And maybe we should suggest, first of all, to Global Compact to read this. That could be maybe a very good commitment for them to say, okay, we are ready to contribute to development, but we are also ready to pay tax. We had just to add another example to the many things that have been said so far. Our affiliates in the United States were actively mobilizing to get a pay increase in the fast food industry. And they were going on strike and organizing and mobilizing. So at a certain point, we thought, why? We could think, for instance, how many taxes McDonald's is paying in all the countries they are going around. Of course, we don't have the resources to follow McDonald's all over the world. So we choose 4 countries within the European Union: UK, France, Italy, and Spain. And we found, with the research, that in 4 years, McDonald's only in these 4 countries has avoided to pay taxes for 1.5 billion. I'm proud as an Italian to say that for this time, Italy is the last in the list with only 450,000 euros that they didn't pay. Maybe because we prefer Italian food rather than McDonald's hamburger. But if you think the dimension of the resources that are missing to our public budgets, when we are oppressed by cuts and the request of austerity and the request of fiscal consolidation and all of these economic packages, we realize that the solution is here. And the solution is not only an economic issue. I mean, I'm very happy that Angel Gurria 2 days ago, 3 days ago, realized that inequality is an economic problem. I should say that, yes, it's an economic problem, but first of all, is a moral problem and a democratic problem. Because all this attack of multinational on the economic system of our countries is really an attack to democracy and to democratic institutions. Madame Joly was complaining about the non-independence of the politicians. Well, that's exactly the point. And finally, I want to thank you very much because I don't think that simply with the goodwill we will, or with the support of some politicians that are often, I cannot say corrupted, but close or very sensitive to some arguments that the multinational are proposing, we will not be able to solve the problems. We need an authority. When I was interviewed by the Commission, I supported the idea of an independent, a global authority that can reform and regulate and control the global tax systems. I said, just to be a bit, to put a bit of funny in a very serious discussion, I said, well, there's authority around the world for everything. There's even a global federation that regulates football, soccer for you. Now, I was not thinking to an authority as corrupted as FIFA.